we look at the world right now, and I think depending on what we feel really moved by, and we could probably debate that forever, like what are the reasons that we're motivated by certain things, pulled back from other things, what are the soul contracts of it, but that the piece that is really resonant for me is how we navigate the state of the world and what is our role in it. Some people would say, I feel like I'm here to feel the pain, feel the creation of that cancer, and in doing that, sending love to it, and in that it will transmute. Some people might say, I feel really connected to what's happening in the environment right now, and activism is the way for me. But sometimes activism can come because I'm going against the way that people have created it. And I'm afraid even potentially of what could happen. And so I'm kind of an activist because I'm reactive to what we've created. And you can see how that can even create a perpetual. So we look at the world right now, and we look at how it is reeking of ego. What is the truth to support a new earth? Is that a philosophy you hold? A better world, a healthier world? What is your philosophy on how we navigate the world right now? Hey there, it's me, V. So, as you can imagine, this is my first podcast. And so I'm learning all of these new ropes. And did you know how important ratings were? I didn't. I had absolutely no idea. And I'm so thankful for the support of my team for reminding me of how important having your ratings, your honest reflection of the podcast, how much that benefits us. So I'm that annoying person in the middle of everyone else's episodes that I fast forward that hopefully you're listening to right now. And if you've got 30 seconds, it would mean the absolute world to us if you could take a moment and just rate this podcast, give it a thumbs up, share it with your bestie that you want to go head to head with, so we can continue to spread this message, debate about the truth, find what the truth is, and have the kinds of conversations that truly help us awaken in integrity. All right, back to the episode.
It really is up to each of us to work on our minds.
Okay.
Find more peace.
Yep.
Like Nelson Mandela taught us that, right? I can find peace no matter what. And if I'm willing to find peace, then what happens? And when I look at the external world and I call it wrong, I'm essentially forming an attack. An attack thought is any form of judgment on anything else. This person just represents something in me.
Yeah.
Right? That separation from our creator is a form of guilt. And then what we do is we go attack to get rid of that guilt. That's what we do. So if we're creating a new earth, each of us are working on our minds to find the true essence of love, where I see myself as you, you see myself as you, and we are actually all the divine incarnations of spirit. And then we're living in that higher essence of what our inner calling is of truth.
I resonate with aspects of this, and I'm curious how our listeners are feeling at this point about this, because the ones who are aware of me might say, well, yeah, but V, you're a clairvoyant, and what you see attached to people's energies, what you see that in some ways does have a meaning. For example, if you reincarnated into a bloodline where there was a significant curse on your bloodline, if you and I sat here all day and you were like, I'm cursed, well, that would obviously not be the right energy. But if you had the acknowledgement that spiritually you came here to be free of these attachments, if you will, then we would have to clear that. There would be a part of you that would need to remove these aspects in order to be free. And so in my world, there's work to be done to actually remove these attachments. It's not just necessarily in the mind. When we start talking about the spirit, a lot of us have been in these reincarnation loops on this particular planet to try to maybe come back to divine love. If you think about it, like the way that I energy heal is through the frequency of love. I see the truth. Clairvoyantly, I see where the attachments are, and I remove them so they can come back to ultimate truth. But that doesn't change the fact that I have to find the truth, the ultimate truth, on a spiritual level, remove the attachments, not on their mind, but actually on a mind, body, soul level, and then their natural energy comes forward. So I think my philosophy on what's happening in the world is a karmic cycle that a lot of people have been in. And I do believe that people need to process. And I think that there's a fine line between processing and sabotaging and processing and evolving. But I think we really need to feel it in order to be able to heal it. And that may look like I incarnated in a generational curse, not overly identified with the fact that I'm a curse breaker, but acknowledging that that's in my vibration. That was something that I came here to break free from. And so I'm curious where you stand on that. As an energy healer, I can't deny that that's a part of the truth, that if we are here to experience the remembrance and then the forgetfulness and the remembrance that we are divine love, sometimes people hit that threshold no matter what they try to access. And that's usually when there's something spiritual that they're caught in that actually does need to be disconnected and processed.
So I've got a few layers to that.
Bring it on.
So I'm also very clairvoyant. It's a big part of my business. And
I love that, Divvy.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go, girl.
Okay, and everything is thought. So if I go in to work with a client and I'm insistent that they have an attack on them, then I am actually looking for it.
Okay.
Versus if I go in with a client, I'm like, what is the thought in you? So if you think that you're cursed, that thought of being cursed, you come from a family of origin. I come from a family of origin where it's in my culture that we all sacrifice as women. That's huge in my culture, huge. And we sacrifice as women because the men are more important, and then that makes us important. So thereby that's a form of a curse that I've taken on.
Right.
True?
Yep.
But remember how we talked about the creator and then the ego is guilt, that separation? It's just taking that guilt and put it on me and said, you're cursed. So I can theoretically, if I can get to the bottom of that client's thought system and truly forgive the guilt of separation, then that entity, that attack can leave. Because it's just a vibrational match to that thought system. And I've seen it tons of times. And it can leave because the divine is in charge. Often, when you play poker and you're like, I got a better hand than you have. Not that I don't play poker. But they often say that the hand of God or the creator, that hand will always win. The hand of love. And our only job is to identify that one little thought. It took me 40-something years to identify the thought that I had to sacrifice. That's a long time.
That's a lot of sacrifices that you identified with.
I watched my mother do it her whole life, but I didn't put two and two together. But then I finally gave that up. A lot of my mid-back pain went away. I'm like, oh my lordy, lordy. And if I went and saw somebody, they would say I had an attack on my mid-back. Cool, what's the attack from? Take it off of me, but if you don't tell me what my unconscious is doing, I'm going to keep looping there.
So that actually goes to my point I was going to ask you, because let's say a client comes in and doesn't know that they have a curse.
Right.
Just says, my low back.
Right.
When you see, do you still go in and say, what is the truth? Because that's what I do. If someone says to me, hey, V, I think I have an entity attachment, I'll be like, okay, well, let's let the truth bring it forward. Right. And that's really all that it is. Regardless of what they think it is, ultimately the truth will reveal it. Is that very similar to?
Similar and a bit different. I work more from the thought systems, right? It's like, okay, so I will, when I'm looking at a client's lower back, I will hear a question like, what's your fear of moving forward? And then I call it pulling the thread, asking the questions. But when I'm asking the question, that curse is being released. Do you get it? Because that client is moving her energy up to love. But I don't have to go in and take it off of her. It's just like, what is the story? And then when they pull the story, then everything starts to shift. Everything starts to shift. Everything starts